This is a 36 by 36 inch canvas that I painted the background with this intense yellow color. It was just some paint that I had left in the bottom of a tube that I wanted to use up. And I'm working here just with a primary palette, using up some other paint. Scratching back into it, I'm using the Catalyst wedge for application. Yellow isn't one of my colors per se, but it was a good color just to get on the background. And I'm using a ultramarine blue, a Catalyst wedge here with the little indentations, and I'm just squiggling it around to give it a pattern. Here I'm trying to drag some of my paint with a big drywall mud scraper from the hardware store. So you see some color mixing going on. And I apologize for the color in this video. I had my track lights on and it's kind of casting a bit of a golden glow, so the colors may not be as accurate as they should. So I'm really just playing on this big canvas and just releasing some energy, really. Trying a squeegee. I have no idea where this piece will go. Adding some white here. Just really having fun, using up some supplies, mixing on the canvas, writing into it, using my non-dominant hand. Coming back in with a big paintbrush, adding some more red. This is a cad red. I'm not really thinking much about where I'm putting stuff, but intuitively I am creating some balance and I'm scratching some lines back in. This is something that you can easily do with acrylic if you do it right away and you don't wait. So here I have a stick. I often like using a stick to apply paint, and I've just got some black paint that I'm scratching on, and this is a heavy body. I often like to use a fluid paint just because it's a little more ink-like, and even a high flow is really like ink. I have used India ink or Chinese ink before to do this, which works lovely, but it takes a really, really long time to dry. Here you see me squeezing on some high flow paint straight out of the tube and letting it drip. These come with nibs on the end, and it's super, super runny like ink. Coming back in with a lighter value of paint. This is slightly tinted, kind of a gray blue. Just trying to release the yellow that's in behind. As I said, it's not my color. I might leave little bits of it showing through, but it really was just a way of covering the canvas to get started. I have this other neutral color mixed up. It's kind of a putty color. I had used it as a background in one of my paintings. So I had some left over, so I'm just applying that as well. I'm working around the whole canvas. Again, I'm not really thinking too much about design or composition at this point. I'm just really in the play stage, and my goal here is just trying to use up some of the paint that I have pre-mixed and some stuff that was on my palette, and I'm going to keep working on this painting by doing this, and hopefully after many attempts and layers it will resolve itself and become cohesive. This is a kind of a neutral blue tone that I had made also for the background of a painting. So when I do my neutral colors, I mix large amounts, and they will stay for quite a while in a, I just use a Ziploc container, but any kind of container with tight fitting lids. So there you saw me again scribbling into the wet paint. I use a variety of different things like woody Stabilos, Stabilo Markol pencils, oil pastels, China markers. Some things are water soluble and they will mix in with the paint if they're not sealed, but I don't really worry about that, especially in these initial layers. Taking a little bit of a longer look here and thinking that I will just turn this canvas to get a different perspective on it. Now it does look totally different with the stripes almost feeling now horizontal instead of vertical. Going back in again with the catalyst tool and taking some of that excess paint and applying it elsewhere. Blending some of it out. That's a nice thing about the scraper. You can get different thicknesses of paint when you're doing this, and if the paint underneath is wet like it was there, you will get some blending and you can scrape back into some previous layers. So I do like that as well. Coming back in, doing a little bit more scratching and scribbling. Bamboo skewers and knitting needles are a couple of my favorite tools to do this. So here I'm scraping in some oval shapes back in through to the red paint. So when you allow yourself a chance to play and nothing is precious, there are great discoveries that can happen. And of course, a lot of this will not remain in the painting, but what you are doing is discovering your voice and deciding what marks you enjoy making and what things really speak to you. So don't be afraid to allow yourself to paint this way, to play. A lot of people are scared of wasting supplies, but you can use less expensive artist paint for this, like a student grade. And you have to consider the cost of the materials to be part of your learning and also your enjoyment. And if you keep working at it, you will resolve your paintings so that you end up with a really good piece of artwork. Now, this may take some practice. It doesn't happen overnight, especially if you're working intuitively and not using any photo reference. But it's a way of getting out of your head and starting to express your emotions and the energy coming through you. Make sure to stand back from your work as well. It's important that you get a long look, especially when you're working larger. You really need to see the perspective. So I have my desk and computer a few feet away from my easel, and when I glance up from the computer, I can look at my painting, and this is often when I will spot things that I want to change, because it switches my focus from possibly editing video or doing some other task on the computer to looking at the painting, and it's just going from that right brain to left brain. So I find that also useful. And even if you have a chair and can sit down and just really ponder your moves, especially as you get closer to the end of the painting. So here I'm using a color shaper brush. It's a silicone ended brush, and it's nice to apply paint as well. It works similar to the Catalyst blade, but it does have a handle on, making it nice to use. And I'm trying to blend some of this around. Now I'm going back in here. You see me making a oval mark, and I'm wiping it off. Now I'm coming back in, and I'm writing on it. I'm writing the word hope. So again, these words that I write in to my paintings may or may not stay visible to the viewer in the end, but they are the energy in the painting. And a lot of times it's words or phrases that come out while I'm painting. It may just be something I was thinking at the time and felt inspired to write in. So again, using that wider silicone scraper. Really using it on its edge here to move the paint around. A little bit more pondering about what to do. And again, another turn to look at it in a different orientation. This is very valuable too when you're working abstractly, or even if you're working more realistically. So I'm writing in another word here. The word is joy. And I think it's something we all need more of right now in our crazy world. Adding some lime green that I mixed up with the blue and yellow on my palette. Just trying to use up the paint that I have left here at the end of my painting session. So this is how I'm going to approach this painting, is with my leftover paint every day. And here you see that I did add a lot of blue paint onto it, covered up a lot of the underlying areas. Toning that bit of red down, adding some more pinky tones into this and scraping it. I'm going to let that part go. I found it was a bit distracting, but you'll still see the marks underneath. I am starting to think a little bit more about the composition and balance at this point, but I am still exploring and making marks. So I've turned the painting upside down here, and I'm just coming back in, loosening things up again, scribbling around on it, using a variety of different materials. Here I've got some dry pastel, chalk pastel, that I'm using to scrape on top of the bumps. Using a brayer to smooth things out and soften the edges, applying some paint over it, trying to push the word back but still have it visible. Softening the edge here so it doesn't have such a squared look on it. So I'm going to leave this one pretty much like this now, and let me know if this is something that you enjoy and you'd like to see more videos about playful, non-objective abstracts. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. And here's some close-up details. You can see my scribble marks with the different media and some of the richness of layers as well.